Hello, welcome to the Kratom Gals. And if you're new here, I'm so glad you found us. This is our weekly live stream. We're just a group of everyday Kratom consumers who show up every week to watch what's being said out there, the headlines, the hearings, the viral clips, because there's so much of it, as you probably know by now. And we break it all down based on our lived experience. No spin, no agenda, just honest conversation from people who use Kratom. Because here's the thing, people who use Kratom deserve to be part of this conversation. And that's exactly what we do here. I'm Madeline Sklar. I'm the host of the Kratom Gals, the Kratom Stories podcast, and the Kratom Real Talk community over on the school platform. If you haven't been over there, go to kratomrealtalk.com. We have a wonderful place where we can talk very freely about our Kratom. I've been a daily consumer of Kratom for 7 years. Every single day for 7 years, I've used this for my chronic pain. It has absolutely changed my life. And it's the foundation for everything I do in our community as a Kratom educator and advocate. If you're live here watching this on YouTube, please jump into the chat. We love hearing from you, and your voice matters in this conversation. And whether you're watching live or catching the replay later, if this kind of content, these unfiltered talks that we do resonate with you, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It's the best way to help more people find us here on YouTube. Now, a quick but important note before we dive in, this live stream is for educational purposes only. We're not medical professionals here. Nothing that we're sharing should be taken as medical advice. We're just sharing our personal experiences and advocating for responsible legal access to Kratom. So with that said, let's bring up the gals that are here today. Hello, gals. How are y'all?
Hey, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Doing well.
Hey, everybody.
Good to see you all. This is always such a fun discussion each week. I always look forward to Saturdays. I know Venus, y'all, she's making little selfie videos that she's putting all over her social media. And Venus, I saw the one you put out this morning talking about how excited you are it's because it's Saturday for the Kratom Gals. So I'm so proud of you.
Well, it's all thanks to your video, Like a Rock Star, that gave me the confidence. Doing that 5 days in a row and really pushing through really helped me. And then just being on camera again. I'm sorry for background noise. But yeah, I was really excited. And I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to stop.
Good for you.
Good. Great job.
Yeah, because, you're so good with advocating for Kratom. You've been doing the live stream since I started it 2.5 years ago. But the one thing I haven't seen you do regularly is like put that phone in your face and just start talking and share it on your socials. And it's just so great seeing you so comfortable with it now.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is getting used to carrying my phone with me too. And I'm trying to carry around the tripod, so I do feel more comfortable. Sometimes I'll be somewhere and I'm like, oh man, I forgot to grab my phone. And I'm wondering, do I want to use the extra energy to walk all the way back and get it? Something that lazy, But so I'm trying to get used to that. And it's just like you said, it's a great way to get more information and to advocate. And I want to take advantage of anything that I can possibly do to get more information out there.
I love that. I love that. I love our community. We got so many great people, to be connected with. Like you ladies are just so great. And it's so awesome that we're all just trying to help spread awareness about Kratom.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
And sorry to hear about, what's that?
It takes us all.
It does. Takes a village. And so sorry to hear about Scott Ruby. I don't know, Amanda, if you want to say anything. I don't know if everybody knows yet. I'm sorry. I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, it's okay. It's okay. For those of you who have known Scott Ruby, fierce advocate, amazing bunch of knowledge. He no longer is with us. And it's a shame. We lost him to suicide. So please, if anybody ever is struggling, reach out. There's a lot of us here that we will talk to you. So if everybody can just try to remember Scott in a positive light, because he really fought one hell of a fight for our plant, for all of the plant. So just, try to remember the good he did bring to this community, because he really was an amazing advocate. So I appreciate him very much.
Very passionate advocate.
Very passionate. And
Very.
sometimes, man, he would drive us all a little crazy and he'd go on his rants, but that was
Yeah.
Scott Ruby. And you either loved him or you didn't. And, you know, there's a lot of us right now that really are going to miss everything about Scott, you know, all of it. So,
including the crazy he could make us.
you know, and you know what? Sometimes that crazy, that'll be, you know, the fun stories that we get to kind of go back and have a little chuckle about. And he'll be right there with us, you know, having that laugh too. But I know he's going to be fighting fiercely on the other side because he's not done. He's not done.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you were able to join us today, because I know this has been really tough news.
Yeah, it's been a hard couple of days.
Yeah. Well, we're all here for you. And
My heart is with you, Amanda.
yeah.
Thank you.
So let's watch some videos. There's lots to watch, lots of news to report, and you got the Suffolk County, Pennsylvania hearing that took place recently. All kinds of interesting things for us to take a look at and discuss. What I want to do first, before we dive into all of that, I want to play a short video I recently posted online that really explains where I stand on Kratom and 7-OH, because there sure are a lot of discussions about my opinion, and I'm very clear about my opinion, and I have a video that really, I think, explains it really well. So hopefully, if anybody is in doubt or think they know, this will, I think, clear up any confusion. This comment from April says, I don't care who does 7-OH. I have a problem 7-OH saying is Kratom. That will be Kratom's downfall. I hope I'm wrong. I absolutely agree with this. I don't know why people in the Kratom community keep going around publicly saying that I'm aligned with the 7-OH community and that I must be getting paid by them. It is so incorrect and false. It is not true. I am in support of people getting pain relief. I come from pain management. I spent 9 years getting daily pain meds for my chronic pain. And then I discovered Kratom 7 years ago, and it's been life-changing for me. I've been consuming natural leaf Kratom every day for 7 years. Now, 7-OH comes along a few years ago, and it was quite the disruptor. It's a semi-synthetic using what's called a metabolite from the kratom leaf. For those that need a quick education, you pick the leaf off of a tree. It does not have 7-OH present. But when the leaves dry, they have to be dried before they can come over to the US. When it dries, this metabolite emerges from metragenine, and it's called 7-hydroxymetragenine, and it's in very, very trace amounts. So you got companies that use semi-synthetic methods to put that into a product and put it on the market. Just FYI, before it was 7-OH, we heard a lot of the same issues with Kratom extracts. Just exchange Kratom extracts for 7-OH, and that's where we're at today. Now, I don't condone that industry. I don't like what that industry has been doing, but I am not going to treat people badly because they have found a responsible way to use those products while it's still on the market to help with their chronic pain. So that is my stance on this. I love this comment because that really says it in the exact same way that I feel. I've been getting a lot of criticism from a particular lobbyist at the AKA over the past few months because of our Kratom Gals live stream that I've been hosting every Saturday for well over 2 years. And all of a sudden, because of who some of my guest co-hosts have been, and he doesn't like them, that he is now criticizing everything we say and do, and especially me. So if you really want to know what we talk about and what our views are, come over on my YouTube channel on Saturday afternoons. Come hang out or catch the replay. And you'll see that I do not support the 7-OH industry, but I do support the chronic pain patient that has found relief from responsibly using that product. What are your thoughts? Okay, I had to play that. Anyway, I just want to make sure if anybody is not clear, even though I talk about it quite a bit in this live stream each week, I thought, let me just play that at the start. Does anybody have any questions? I mean,
Well, I think it's unfortunate that you have to keep replaying it just for people to
well, I
understand
don't have
your
to,
point. No, you
but
don't have to, but
but
it's almost like, I mean, it's important that you are, but it's almost like, most everybody knows, but they're still putting it on you that you're a 70H gal instead of a Kratom gal. You know what I
which I
mean?
find funny.
So I appreciate you. Of course, Amanda would appreciate you because both of us, we do utilize it. But
You shouldn't
everybody
also
else,
be
other
bullied into
people,
silence either, and that's how I look at it, whether people agree with 7 or not. We should not be bullying people. We shouldn't be trying to ban a product that does, when dried from the kratom leaf has a small amount of 7-OH, just like MIT. It has been turned, it's been turned into a higher percentage extract. And we saw this with plain leaf, we saw this with MIT, and now we're seeing it with 7-O. People's lives are clearly being lost. Take Scott Ruby as an example. So we just all need to remember to be kind to one another, whether we agree or disagree with something that they either do, say, or consume. That's, your beliefs. We all know our beliefs, so let's all just remember to be kind to one another. And if you don't like something, scroll on by, just like if you don't like something with, the politics of, the president, we scroll on by, that's what adults do. So that's what I'm going to continue to do. And I'm going to advocate my rear end off, because right now we are in the fight of our life, and state by state is starting to crumble. And it's very, very sad to see what's happening to the plant and people's freedom to choose, plant medicine.
Right. Well said. Anybody has any thoughts to share to that? Because very well said, Amanda. Here comes Venus.
I completely agree. Back in the beginning, my thoughts were the same thing as everybody, not everybody else's, but as theirs. And as I did more research and talked to more people and saw the help that it gave you, it just completely changed my mind. And
I was 100% against it as well at first, until I started
lot of
doing
us
my
were.
research, and people don't remember that,
in our own research. See, the thing is, we're hearing from specific people in the industry. Well, they're going to tell you what they want you to hear. And I know that's a big reason why we keep having people not liking what we're doing here every Saturday. It's like, we're not following your narrative. We're following based on talking to people, doing our own research, and just having our own opinions and thoughts, our own independent thoughts.
We are the science.
And being mocked for it is just so, I can't, you know what? It's kind of been like a comedy show. So I'll keep laughing because it is really comical. But I credit Twinkle with really showing us, like, through her experience and being comfortable talking about it with us. It's like, there's a side to this that I wasn't paying attention to because too many voices were telling us a specific thing, a specific narrative. And it's just like, to me, it would be like, well, you take opiates. Opiates are bad. Opiates are bad. And let's say you got dropped from pain management, like I've been, and let's say you have no choice but just go buy them off the streets. Well, you're going to be shunned even more. You're buying street drugs.
My friend bought them off the streets because she had a full mouth extraction, and she messaged me, hey, do you have any pain meds? No, I don't, but I have this, but I know you can't take it right now because you had a full mouth extraction. She ended up going to the streets, and she's no longer with us.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And that was a big concern that I had with, like, do I really have to go that route? And thank God Kratom emerged right when it did. So I didn't have to even attempt to go down that road. But, for those of us that suffer from extreme chronic pain, we're not given a lot of choices. And now they want to take Kratom away from us, so.
Yeah, to say I'm terrified right now, I'm terrified.
Yeah.
I know I cannot go back to living how I was. I was existing and I was dying.
Yeah.
Everything has changed on that end. My labs, my organ scans, my lifestyle, I've dropped over 100 pounds. I'm out there. I'm out of bed. I'm sitting in a chair right now. This would be me in bed if this was me on the little bit of pain meds that I was given, but I still, I remember the looks that I used to get because I had this bag, like this little clutch of pain medicine. They're like, oh my God, you take that all day. I said, oh, this is only some of it. This is only stuff that I take during the day. This isn't, the blood pressure medicine.
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up a little bit, but I think we got the gist of all that. Now, I totally get it. I was in those shoes too. I mean, your bag full of meds. It's like this isn't even all of it. I mean, I think people that have not been through that scenario don't really understand our plight because they're so far removed from it. Just the way we have to feel because we suffer from pain, something we didn't ask for.
Mm-hmm.
Yet we have to figure out how to deal with it. And if taking opiates is the only way or what works for you at that time, who has the right to sit here and shun you or make you feel bad? So I think the rule of thumb is if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I mean, I was on pain, I was given Vicodin at the age of 9 years old. I had 90 Vicodin a month at the age of 9 years old for the pain that I was in. Of course, they didn't understand, the endometriosis, the fibromyalgia at 15 that, I was told it could be fibromyalgia. And even then at 15, I'll be 48 next month. They didn't even know what they do now on it. And even now it's like, I kind of look at it and it's like, oh, fibromyalgia is just this, label that they give something that they're not really kind of looking further into to see what else is all this other stuff that's going on, because it's just, I don't know. My doctor's back. So that's wonderful. Now I can, tackle things from that went on from my surgery and get back to, trying to tackle the rest of my pain because, things in New Hampshire are going a little wonky right now, and we'll see how things are going. New Hampshire changed their language 3 different times in their bill. And at this point, I don't even understand the bill. I know I spoke to Robin very briefly about it. And in the bill, it's just like this one, possession of it is a Schedule 2, but then it's like the bill is written and it's regarding the liquor commissioner and they get to make the choice. And it's not supposed to be in, gas stations or, liquor stores, but when you reread the bill, the language is really tough on it. I've even been in touch with Sarah and Dan, and, we're all trying to, at this point, hopefully go and speak to our senators because they're about ready to, it's passed both Senate and House.
It's confusing what they're doing.
It's so confusing. And, and another one, Dylan Smith, who is a fierce advocate as well. He went and spoke to them and was told, no, they're not banning 7. But then again, the new, this latest bill was out and the language just says other.
Right. It's very confusing. It's hard.
Yeah, the title says just liquor stores and anything under their purview. Then you read the body of the bill and it says possession.
Yeah, and they were even saying like a Schedule 2, like we don't have the resources to make all of these people, felons, but yet here we are, it's like deep dive. Who's paying off people to get these votes these days? Because we went into it as they just wanted information and we were going from an 18 to a 21 regulation and that was it.
Right.
And then it went like, okay, well, hey, maybe we should get this out of the gas stations, which get them out of the gas stations. Cause that seems to be all the wording everybody's saying, gas station heroin, gas station this, gas station that, get it out of the gas stations. It's not the problem, have some sort of, put the, KCPA into effect and start following it, like stand up for your state and start following it. Like, I don't understand what these representatives are doing, but
Yeah.
I'm honestly baffled. And it's like money talks and we all walk, apparently, because that's the way it seems to be going right now.
Right. Well, I think it's just so comical here in Texas. We've had the KCPA for years. They've done nothing about it. No enforcement. They even went so far as to try to ban it a year ago. And all of a sudden, the Attorney General is like finally enforcing. It's like, okay, but y'all could have avoided trying to ban it. And like I don't. Government they're just so not able to do anything. You look at these things and it's like, we're just the lay people, right? And I can look at this and go, if y'all just enforce this,
Those are little puppets,
this would be a non-issue. And now they're doing some enforcement. Okay. But then you watch next January, they're going to try to ban it in Texas again, I'm sure.
Regulations.
Next January, everything is going to get banned with what they're studying right now. I mean, and I really please, like I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong on all of this. I hate the fact that I've been right on stuff. I don't want to be right. I don't like it. I don't want to be the I told you so. But you know what? Like, they are going to ban the plant completely if we all don't rally together like we did to stop it years ago. We need to stop it now, or we are all going to be hurting.
Well, and the other aspect of that is regulation serves absolutely zero purpose if there is not enforcement.
Right.
And with enforcement, you have to have education because they have to know what it is they're enforcing. It serves no purpose otherwise.
Right.
And Amanda, I hate to say I agree with you, but if we don't start kicking it in gear, it's already
if this
worse
doesn't
than it
scare
was in
people, I mean, I don't know what it is. Like, lives are going to be lost if this plant is gone.
Oh yeah.
People
lives
like
are already
myself
being lost.
cannot exactly. Lives are already being lost because of these bans going on right now. Like, people need to wake up. Like, fight for what you believe in. Fight your damnedest right now because we need it. If not, like, there's going to be you look at how many people alone just take kratom alone, plain leaf. Every single one of us, that means even the MIT users, even the 7.0 users, everybody is done. What is that going to do with people with mental health that take it, or people like myself with chronic pain who take it? What is that going to do when we can't go back to pharmaceuticals? We can't get the help that we were getting or not getting from pharmaceuticals. I can't get the help. We can't. We all know what it's like. And now they're going to, turn this, our alkaloids, the 7 and the MIT, into a pharmaceutical. How are we going to be able to access that? And now we all know everybody takes kratom doses. No two persons dose is the same. Do you want them telling you how much kratom in a little tablet? That's probably going to be what they do, or a capsule that you can take here. You could take a half gram every 4 to 6 hours. That won't work for me. I take 7.5 grams per dose. That might work for someone else. Great for them, but that's not going to work for me.
Well, that's just like when in pain management with our prescriptions. And then what about in 2016 when they're like, doctors should not prescribe more than 90 MME? It's like, we're all different. That's not like to set a standard of like how much we should get. And that wasn't even close to what I needed for my pain relief. But
I mean, I still have to fight every single year. Like, even though I've everybody knows like those lidoderm patches, they're not pain meds. It's not like it's literally, it's like a salon pause a little bit better. I have to fight every year to keep those. And my doctor has to fight and then refight and refight. And sometimes it takes 3 or 4 times for him appealing it to get them to understand, like, hey, like, she needs this. I can't give her more meds. I can't do this. I can't do that. She needs this. I was without them for 7 years. So now it's like I fill them every time that I don't care if I need the things or not. I'm filling it because I have literally a whole stack of boxes of them right now, because when I ran out last time, I ran out and the pain came back, and the over-the-counter stuff like the salon pause, didn't work. Like, pain patients should not have to do this. Cancer patients should not have to suffer. Like, this is what's going on in our world. Like, y'all can't go to the, like, people even like against, whatever they're against, 7-0, MIT, whatever. You guys, Kratom plain leaf right now is a threat. Stop looking at just the extract. The whole plant is being threatened right now. Google search it. Is MIT and 7-0 going to be turned into a pharmaceutical? They are studying it. It's all in black and white. Read it, follow it, and then start going, writing into your senators, writing into your legislators. Go to fastdemocracy.gov. It'll give you emails every single time there's an update about your state and your bill. God knows it gets sent to me all the time at like 12 something in the morning, but at least it's getting to me. We need people paying attention to what's going on and fighting for what they believe in and fighting for what they're taking. Because right now, people's lives are being lost already. And we have billions of us who consume this plant. And that is terrifying. That's terrifying.
Yeah, we definitely need more people speaking out. There's a bunch of news stories I want to get to. This first one I'm going to play is a brand new one that just came out from California. So this one's interesting.
Right now at 5, the state of California going after the makers of Kratom, a synthetic substance sold at gas stations and linked to deaths across LA County.
CBS LA assignment editor Mike Rogers at the desk now. Mike, you've told us about the county concerns over this, and now the state is stepping in.
That's right. Pat and Ruta Bay, the state of California is suing the makers of Kratom. It's a company based at Santee, California that markets and distributes these, they say, illegally. Now, this is some of the products you'll see in stores, 7OH. They're marked as different things, energy drinks, supplements. You see the Kratom extract on there. Now, the problem is, according to experts and doctors that I have spoken with, this drug can become, or the synthetic substance, rather, can become.
You know what? What they just showed is Oxycontin. Why are they showing Oxycontin right here? Does anybody know?
Wow.
Thank you.
I was going to say, have you noticed some of these like photos that they throw in really quick? It's like, do people catch that short blurb? I'm like, wow, that looks like an Oxy to me. And I'm like, you went back to it and I'm like, oh, that is.
It's like I see OP on one side and 20 on the other. I recognize that tablet.
How does that Kratom? That's not even 7-0. That's nothing related to 7-0. Doesn't it? 7-0 don't even look like that. Not even a tablet.
No, it sure doesn't. But I had to stop and show y'all.
Thank you.
Hello, that is Oxycontin.
Substance, rather, can become very addictive, almost like an opioid. The problem is people don't realize that that's what they're becoming.
And that one right there is 1836 Kratom. It's just they only manufacture and sell natural Kratom. They don't do, I don't think they do extracts. I know they don't do 7OH. So I always find it interesting when the news story is talking about concentrated products, but then show natural Kratom. And I know that's part of this debate is like media doesn't seem to know the difference. The legislators don't know the difference. And that's what gets
they've done that to Jordan too. Used his product when they're talking about 7OH, and he doesn't sell 7OH.
No, he sure doesn't.
Addicted to, and then ultimately can die as a result of it. The LA County Medical Examiner has linked several causes of death to Kratom and 7OH. The state of California now suing the makers, saying that they're illegally marketing the product for consumption. The FDA says this is not a product that can be consumed by people, yet the state of California says the company that is selling these is marketing it as such. There's kind of a catch-22, though, because this is not a controlled substance, so it is not illegal to possess, but it is illegal for these stores to sell it as a product for consumption. So county health leaders have gone through these gas stations, other places that are selling it, and have written them up and have fined them and done various things like that. Now the state is trying to go directly to the source. They say, by the way, they have gotten proof that the company that is manufacturing this and marketing them have incorrectly and illegally altered the products too before they send them out to be sold. Now, we did reach out to that company. So far, they have not gotten back to us with any response.
All right, so that was.
Did they name the company?
Yeah, well, they said it's a company based in Santee, and then when they said that early on, then they showed the 7-ohms. I think.
Isn't that one place that's like? I think I just got a text recently saying, "Oh, hey, ban hearing here as well." So they're like really kind of putting it out there, trying to scare people.
For where?
For this Santee or whatever the place, Santee something, San Clemente. What I forget what it was. Santee something in California. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everywhere's being banned at this point. Like,
Well,
everywhere's being banned.
it seems like what I mean, I'm speculating, but like the anti-kratom people, they're trying to get this ban across the country. It seems like if they can't get it on the state level, they just go city and town by town. Like Illinois is a great example. Before the state ban in Louisiana, there was a bunch of parishes that banned it over the years. And other parts of the country where it's like they just go to all these different towns. And then most consumers don't even know till something's happened in their community. Because, I mean, honestly, before I became a Kratom consumer and paid attention to all the advocacy stuff, I mean, does the average consumer know about? No, I mean,
Absolutely not. I'm still as I deal with the customer service and on Wonderland. So it's like, messages are coming in. Connecticut, for one, there's an example. We had many people that we would order and we'd ship to Connecticut, and they go to place their order, and now it's like no, you can't pay. It's not allowed. It's not allowed, and they have no clue why. So when I'm like, hey, sorry, I really hate to inform you, Connecticut banned it on, such and such date, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, we had no clue. What can we do? And then immediate panic sets in, and I'm an empathetic person. So literally every single message I get like that it pulls at the heartstrings, and it's really tough to hear a lot of people really just absolutely going into a panic that they had no idea. And then they're like, well, what do you mean? And I was like, well, because a lot of places are turning this into felonies, which we all know that's absolutely insane. Even with the 7, we all can agree that turning someone into a felon for possession of 7-OH is absolutely absurd. It does not impair you. Like when they say, oh, it's stronger than morphine, it does not impair you like a morphine, a Vicodin, any type of pain medicine. So I think
plus it's a partial, so it can.
It's a partial, yes,
It's
it's a partial,
it can.
exactly. And some people are
Morphine
like,
is
oh, we
full.
can't even, doctors won't prescribe this because it's not an opioid. Well, of course they're not going to give you methadone because you're not taking an opioid, and it's like some are doing that and some are being smart, and then others are like, here, let's just push the methadone on you and just create another problem. So it's very scary. It's very scary in a lot of states, and I know a lot of people travel to another state or, know somebody that, family they can mail it to and pick it up or have it sent. Like, this is what people have to go through now to try to manage whatever ailment or issue is that they're taking this plant for. And it's devastating. It's devastating to see this on a daily basis. In the last month I'm completely depleted and drained, and my advocacy work has not been what it usually is. Granted, I'm still sending in my emails, but I've had to literally, and I've had to stop peopling, even being online. It's been too much. It's been too much.
Yeah. And I just want to reiterate, I shouldn't have to, but I will, because some people just don't seem to understand by watching our live stream. This is an opinion-based show. So while Amanda is sharing her opinion, it may not necessarily be what my opinion is, but because I'm the host, that's still okay. It's like,
this is my opinion only. My opinion only.
And your personal experience.
Exactly. And my experience, and this is what I'm seeing as someone who works also in the industry. I'm seeing a lot of suffering.
It doesn't mean I'm totally aligned with everything Amanda said.
Exactly. Like, so, we all here support Kratom. That we can all be like, yep, we support 100%. Kratom, but our views on Kratom may be different from one another. It's like even our views on the show might be different from one another. Like, everyday people in life views are different from one another, but we come here, we share our experience, we advocate, we share what's going on in the world. And like every single one of us says, do your own research, make your own opinion. I'm not going to hate on anybody who doesn't support 7 or doesn't agree with 7. I'm not hating on you. Why? Because that's a waste of energy, and that's your opinion and your thoughts, you know, like, but I'm also not going to support people that are just bullies or mean to people or going to treat people down. Like, we don't need to be ugly to anybody. And that goes for anything in this world. I don't care if you like the color of the sky. If the color of the sky is the wrong blue and someone's mean to you about it, like, we just got to stop wasting our energy on people that are just not being positive in life in general.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Let me show y'all this.
And sometimes it's perspective, because the
Yes.
sky can be blue in different hues and colors of that blue. So it doesn't make anybody wrong.
100%. Well said, Twinkle. That was
Perfectly put.
Perfectly.
I'm kind of at a loss for some words today. So sometimes when someone goes, hey, this, it's literally, it's helping. And I mean, y'all can see I'm struggling. I am struggling. It's been a hard few days.
Yeah. So
it's been it's honestly been a hard year. This whole year has been hard for advocacy, for everything, you know, and I see it on the insider, you know, working for a vendor now for 8 years. I see this inside. So it's like, you know, I deal with the everyday people who is struggling because of, you know, bans. You know, I saw somebody post a minute ago, a plain leaf ban. I think they said it was Illinois on Monday. If so, that's scary.
Yeah, the Extreme put that up. Plainfield, Illinois has a sales ban on Monday.
Very sad.
Yeah. This next news story, I wanted to play it because the title of this on YouTube, this is what the title of this video says, this news report. Kratom, safe or a self-induced death sentence? Are they going for clicks and views with that title? Did ChatGPT give them like, give me the most clickbaity titles to choose from for this news story on Kratom? I mean, it's just these titles.
That is just so beyond ridiculous.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's watch this one.
In the past few years, a new drug has been slowly causing many drug overdose deaths. And now it's
not a drug
in most of the U.S. You can buy it, though, online and at smoke shops, gas stations, and health food stores. Marty Salt is putting her family first tonight with what you should know about this plant turned drug that is making a big impact.
Oh, my gosh.
This plant looks harmless, but when condensed can have the same euphoric power as opioids.
When it's getting to the point where it's a heavy usage, it can go into this euphoria that can be hallucinogen in its nature.
Kratom is a Southeast Asian plant that can be turned into powder, liquid, or tea. It's sold online and in gas stations and smoke shops. According to the Wall Street Journal, people use it for energy, focus, pain relief, and to get over opioid addictions.
What I think the excuse is that it's legal. And because it's legal, it's a replacement for opioid.
And some users say that's not all.
It's not alleviating pain. It's making other people rich.
Last year, the FDA recommended that 7-0, a byproduct of Kratom, become classified as a controlled substance. Fresh Start Ministries says they had to request a specialized drug test to make sure their clients aren't using it.
We have had, some of the guys will say, I just didn't know it was in there.
Harold also says Kratom is a gateway drug for younger men and can lead to use of other drugs and even overdoses.
They'll start with Kratom for a night, and then they reach into, looking for a little bit better, bigger, faster fix.
Kratom is a self-induced death sentence, period.
Just because something is legal doesn't mean it's not dangerous. Marty Salt, WGEM News.
Oh my God.
Kratom is not a drug.
Sentence. I'm alive. I'm alive because of this.
Well,
go ahead, Robin.
That one made me crazy.
Yeah.
That clip made me crazy.
That's why I played it, because that's the kind of media.
First off, it's not a drug. Let's start there. It is not a drug.
And it's not a gateway.
And it certainly is not a gateway.
And that's affecting young men and killing them.
Now, I have never ever.
If there is a gateway, trauma and poor mental health is a gateway. If there is a gateway, trauma and poor mental health is the gateway.
Yeah.
Because that's when people start abusing or getting out of line or happening to overtake things. And, that's mental health. That's not items or not chasing people down.
They're not
and
jumping
down
in
their
your
throat.
mouth or,
That's
consuming,
right.
they're not jumping in your mouth
Exactly.
for you to consume it, like
That's
that's
right.
where we all go with accountability again.
Personal
Well, and that,
responsibility.
that
Yeah.
bit that he says about euphoria. Okay, I personally have never felt euphoric
Me
from
neither.
taking
Right.
Kratom
Same.
ever, and I've got well over 10 years in. But even if someone is feeling euphoria, so what?
I've always said, so
If it's
okay, so
killing their pain
yeah,
or letting them live life and they feel happy about it, because look up the definition of euphoria, people.
that's exactly how I've
If
always
they feel
described
happy
it.
about it, then by God, let them do it.
That's exactly how I've always described it. If euphoria is relieving my pain, well, then I guess I'm feeling the euphoria every day. But if you're looking for a high or anything, wrong plant, ain't coming at this plant. Like, not here.
If I had ever felt high from Kratom, I would have quit.
Same.
No
I don't
matter
like
how
the
well
feeling.
it benefited my pain, because
Plus,
I
it's
don't
being
like that feeling.
misinterpreted as feeling
Yeah.
better.
Right.
I've got the
Yeah.
wobbles twice. That was a bad feeling. And what was it? Because I took a little bit too much. I took more than what my usual dose was. I didn't feel well for about an hour and I threw up, and that was the extent of it. I know not to ever do that again. That's my accountability. If you want to sit here and make yourself feel like crap, that's on you. But
there's different definitions of euphoria. That's from
Yeah.
person to person.
Yes, it is.
And
But that's why I said look up the definition in the dictionary.
Yeah.
And it backs up to happy, overall feeling of well-being.
Right. But it gets
Okay,
associated
if
with
that's
drug
the
use.
case, yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, Kratom allows me to feel better. It allows me to function. It allows me to have my life to a great degree. So if you want to classify that as euphoria, go for it. If you're trying to say that I'm getting high from it, you're swinging at the wrong ball, dude, because if I ever felt high, I would quit taking it because I don't like that feeling. That's the reason I don't use cannabis. I don't like the feeling. It's the reason I don't. Yeah, that one made me crazy.
Well, like what Venus has in the comments here, my pain going away gives me euphoria. Well said. And like Mongo's saying, yeah, if people want to get high, they will find a way, period. It doesn't matter what they remove off the market. Addiction is addiction. People are not going to, let's take 7-OH off the market. Let's have prohibition. And what, they're just going to magically not like, oh, they're cured now from their addiction? If they are addicted, the ones that are addicted to it.
Well, we can't
The people that are truly just seeking a high
are going and using the whipped cream canisters to get high. So even if everything was taken off the market, they're still going to find a way. They're still sniffing paint buckets and stuff. I mean, people are going to do what
You're in my head, Twinkle.
Exactly.
Because I was just going to say that. People snuff paint to get high.
Paint, Sharpies.
Oven cleaner.
Are they going to take Robitussin off the shelves?
Better get rid of Benadryl.
Yeah, well,
Loperamide.
Yeah. Exactly. So, I mean, because, like I said in my little short video earlier, the 7-OH industry, I think there's some bad actors in there. Some of those products are just crazy and shouldn't be on the market. State regulators should have pulled them off immediately. That's on them. But you have this product that some pain patients have gotten great help with it, like Amanda and Twinkle, in addition to their natural Kratom. They're not harming anybody. They're taking very small amounts, so it doesn't compare to the person that's abusing it and having real issues. I'm not discounting that. I never discount that. I've had so many conversations with people in my DMs that have gotten addicted to 7-OH. They're not the typical pain patient. They're taking very large amounts and they're having a hard time stopping. And I have, empathy for them as well.
I deal with it and I help those people. I help them taper off of it. There's a safe way to do it, and
I always provide help.
Leave.
I do the same. Anybody that's looking for help, I try to, point them in the right direction. But as I said in my short video earlier, It's if people can get pain patients can get relief from something that's already on the market and is still on the market, then why are we shunning them? That's my issue. And I own that because that's how I feel. And nobody's going to change that, how I feel.
Plain
And
leaf people went through the exact same
Same,
treatment
exact
right
same.
now as MIT extract users went through 3 years ago, and now 7.0 users are going through that. Like, we shouldn't be treating anybody like that at all. Like, I remember what it was like to be treated like that as a plain leaf. And there's many of us in this community who are strictly plain leaf consumers, and they remember what it was like to be treated like that. And they don't treat 7.0 users like that. They don't. That's called compassion.
compassion is the key word. Exactly. And Cassie makes a really good point here. She had gotten addicted to 7.0. I remember her and I had talked about it in the past. And after a detox period, I can take small amounts once a week without dependency. And that's,
Good for you.
accountability.
Good for you, Cassie.
Yeah.
That is accountability.
That is.
100%. Good for you. Good for you being able to taper down and know that you had an issue with it.
Yeah.
Proud of you for making that
Me
step
too.
for yourself.
I'm proud of you too.
Well, it's just so easy for some people to like, this makes me feel good, so let me take more and let me take
Kratom,
more.
many people apparently did the same thing with Kratom, and we're getting shunned for it. But you know what? Like, why? Like, why? Why are we shunning people? This isn't this like the way that the world is in right now, and how sad the state of the world is, and how divided the state of the world is in. Like, this is when your community of people come together with them, all of them, whether you agree with every single thing that they support in the plant or the community or not. Like, we are all still here for one reason, and that is Kratom as a whole.
Well, and the thing is too, for me personally, I'm not going around saying let's all kumbaya and come together, although there is somebody that keeps saying that about me. Like, it's so wrong, because it's not what I say. But we're all entitled to our opinions. For me personally, for me, the way I view it is, I think we can save Kratom more effectively if there was less division in the community from every angle and every side. But that doesn't seem to be happening. It's only getting worse from every direction. But I'm not sitting here saying, all right, 7.0 people and natural Kratom people, let's all get along. Now, there's nothing wrong with saying that. And I commend y'all that's your stance on it. I don't think anybody's ever heard me say that, even though, like I said, somebody sure likes to imply I say that. Anyway, I think bottom line, if there was less division overall, we're in a scary time. It seems like every day, every week, constantly, there's just more bands cropping up. They're doing it in a very divisive way in some of these
very sneaky
states,
adding it to weird bills that make no sense. And it's like, and it's like, like Robin and I were saying, the very small lineage that now all of a sudden is like, wait, this makes no sense. And now it's like, wait, this is a ban on it all. It's like, so it's scary.
Yeah.
Some of these areas seem to be, I'm not a lawyer. I don't understand all constitutional law, but some of these areas seem to be doing things that are straight up violations of their own constitution, their own state law.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yep, I agree.
And if you're a resident of a state, you need to be looking and paying attention.
Absolutely. I feel so bad for the people. Like Louisiana is a great example, who I'm sure there were just thousands and thousands of people that woke up one day and couldn't go buy their Kratom and didn't know it got not only banned in their state last year, but Scheduled 1. They could go to prison for it.
Look at Alabama.
For possessing.
Yeah, Alabama did the exact same thing. Arkansas, it was a medical doctor that had methadone clinics. They just decided he was going to make sure the legislature passed the law. Nobody had any notice. Nobody knew it was coming. Nobody knew it was happening. And suddenly, Arkansas had a Schedule 1 law.
Yeah. There's just no need for, criminalizing anyone for a plant. There's an interesting news story that came out this week. Did y'all hear about this death in Hawaii? The title for this one says state's first 7-OH death raises alarm over potent product.
Yep.
Let me play this one for y'all.
All new tonight, an Oahu woman has died from a drug available in convenience stores with no age limit for purchases.
Our chief investigative reporter Lynn Kawano explains why experts believe this is just the beginning.
The Honolulu Medical Examiner reported a first death in Hawaii last month connected to an emerging drug.
It's stronger than morphine, so it's very, very scary.
We are seeing a whole new group of people coming in the door that have never experienced addiction before.
And you can become addicted to it, like you can become addicted to heroin or fentanyl or morphine.
Health experts and law enforcement are sounding the alarm about kratom-related items after the state's first death tied to the more concentrated synthetic version, 7-hydroxymitragynine or 7-OH. Easily accessible, it can be found in drinks, gummies, and other forms in stores across Hawaii and online. We bought 7-OH gummies from a convenience store in Eva for $24, and there were many more options. There is no age requirement, even though it is described as a powerful opioid. The first state fatality happened in March. A young adult woman was found dead in downtown Honolulu.
This is really tragic, and the drug levels that came back in the toxicity reports were enormously high, so it was very clear that this was the cause of death.
And it's hopefully the only one this year, but I think it's going to be a lot more.
Kratom is derived from a plant native to Southeast Asia. Users say brewing the leaves in tea or grinding it into a powder can help fight fatigue and pain. But the synthetically enhanced version, 7-OH, may have some buyers confused.
We've had nurses and firemen and EMS and police officers that had no idea that they were taking what they thought were herbal supplements or supplements to help with pain or energy that turned into a very quick addiction.
They just sell it to the general public.
This woman, who didn't want her name used or face shown, told us late last year that her son was in rehab because of 7-OH addiction.
But it's a struggle for us emotionally, financially too, and just mentally, it's hard.
There are medications that can help overcome 7-OH addiction. Seek medical attention if you or someone you know needs help.
All right. Well, what do y'all think of that one? I thought we've been told by the AKA that 7-OH doesn't stay in the body long enough for it to really show up in a tox report that the mitragynine does. So is there something new that we don't know about?
And they never read the levels either.
Right. I'm curious as to the levels.
Well, the reporter said
something that I keyed on.
Drugs.
Yeah, something I keyed on exactly. Drugs.
Yeah, drugs. Not just the drug. It was drugs. What else was in the system? Because we're seeing this with many toxicology reports. They're saying this is the death, but there's Benadryl, benzos, pain meds, fentanyl, this, that, and the other thing, gunshot wound to the head, but kratom's the real reason. Or now 7, which I didn't know that they all of a sudden had these funding tests for it, that they're able to get it, that it's not in the body that long to be able to test for it. We've all been scientifically told.
Because it has a short half-life.
Yeah. But the reporter said there was high levels, so it had to have been the mitragynine.
But she said high levels of drugs.
Yeah.
So, and what gets me is they've been trying to push for regulation in Hawaii for a very long time.
Yeah. Hey, Becca. Good to see you.
Hi, Becca.
Hey, Miss Becca.
See you, gals. How is everybody?
Hi,
Good.
Becca.
Hanging in there, hun.
Oh, I like that there's 6 of us on screen. This looks nice.
I know. I love when Becca pops in and joins.
Yeah. We have such a great group. It's always a lot of fun hanging out and hearing varying opinions. And again, each opinion is that person's own opinion, not necessarily reflected by views of the rest of us. Has anybody watched the hearing from Suffolk County, Pennsylvania that happened? I think it was last week. I know Venus has, because Venus got me the timestamps. Thank you, Venus. You do such a good job of that.
Yeah, I watched it. It was long and crazy. It was interesting because that Dr. Coladney was actually in that one, and it was just they had a lot of good people that showed up and talked, but it still seemed like they were listening to the other people more. But the good thing is they're going into recess for that one, I believe, and they're gonna look over the information before they make up their mind.
Good. And it was a long one, right? Wasn't that like a long hearing?
It was like 5 hours long, and some of the testimonies, like Chris was up there for 20 minutes talking.
Yeah, I'm going to play his. That's why I wanted to make sure we have time because, yeah, he spoke for almost 20 minutes. And then Andrew Coladney was right after him, which is interesting because I haven't seen either one of these yet. But because, you know, for those that don't know, Andrew Coladney is the reason why many of us could not get our pain meds anymore in pain management, because he is a founder of PROP, was at Physicians for Responsible Opioid
Prescribing.
Thank you. And he led the way in making it so that our opioids are so bad for us chronic pain people. And now he's on the bandwagon.
And now he goes to the highest bidder.
Yeah, because it's all about, we showed it here a few months ago. Bev from Dr. Patient Forum did an amazing expose on him. And it's public knowledge that it's all about money. You know, he gets paid a lot of money to testify and say the things he says. And now he's jumping on the Kratom bandwagon. Kratom is so bad, so evil. So I can't wait to hear his testimony. And I love their back to back. So we can just play it all together. It will take a while because Christopher's is about 20 minutes ish. And then Kalani's is 7 minutes. So, but I'm looking forward to seeing this because I'm curious to hear, because we're going to hear two different opinions on Kratom. So this will be really good. And let me catch up on the comments here. Hey, Jimmy, thanks for joining us. Fingers crossed to save Plain Leaf here in Michigan. Yeah, Michigan. Oh, yeah, been hearing about that.
That's another tough one.
Yeah, very, very upset to hear about everything that's going on in Michigan. But anybody who's listening, even if you don't live there, please reach out to the senators and just encourage them not to go through with this, because I have so many friends and family there that have benefited, and so many people who are like well into their 50s, 60s, retirement years that are going to be criminalized if they do go through with this. So it's very heartbreaking.
And you're from there, right?
Yes. Yep. I grew up in Shiawassee County, actually, and lived in Flint before I moved to Maine. So I've been all over the state.
Yeah, it must be heartbreaking to hear about what's going on there in your state, your old state.
It is. Especially, I worked really hard in 2014 and 2016 to stop ban bills there locally, and to also educate law enforcement along with lawmakers in Lansing during the 2016 ban stuff. And they seemed like they were really on our side and very understanding. And it's such a huge turnaround from what it was, and that's very concerning.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, we just keep hearing about ban after ban after ban all across the country, and it just never ends. I mean, imagine, and Robin, I'm sure you can answer this for us. I'm sure a lot of these legislative sessions are going to be ending soon, right? Because we're already in May. And don't they usually start wrapping up around May or sometimes June?
A lot of them do. However, there are those states that run year round.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
this is different from state to state,
we,
community to community.
we have a calendar up on the website that lists when each legislative session for each state ends.
Yeah, and everybody can get that information by going to Robin's awesome website, Botanical Advocacy and Education is botanicalae.org. Y'all have so much helpful information on your site. Thank y'all for putting in so much effort to do that.
That's thanks to Angela. She's the website guru, and she does an amazing job.
Y'all do a great job. And if people are looking for a really great resource, go to kratomindex.com. Dan from Mitrespect put together this amazing website where you can go and easily search for all the published Kratom research. There's so much, when we hear some of these legislators, there hasn't been hardly any research or there's been no research. It's like, go to kratomindex.com. When I send emails to legislators around the country, I have a sentence in there that mentions that, you can go see all the published Kratom research at kratomindex.com. I would add that to your, whatever you normally, I have my little generic, and then I'll customize it depending on where I'm sending it. But I do have like a little paragraph about that. So, I see Venus does it too. That's good, Venus.
Yeah, and actually, kratomindex.com was very helpful for me last week when I was doing some research, and I absolutely love it. So I highly recommend, even if you're not, heavily into the advocacy or anything, just like giving it a good look and take a look, because there's so much in there, not just scientific, but like so many things. Truly.
Lots of great info.
Well, one of the greatest assets.
Yes. Let's watch the Suffolk County. I definitely want to play these two back to back, Christopher and Andrew. So I think what I'll do, I'm just going to play it. And if y'all want me to stop at any point, just interrupt, say something, and I'll just stop. If I'm not on screen, that means I just taken a quick little break, and I'll be right back. Okay. But I'm curious to see, because I watched like the first minute of Christopher's, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good one, but I wanted to save it for here to watch it in full. You'll see very quickly, Christopher gives a very passionate statement.
Good afternoon, sir. You have 3 minutes. Thank you. Yeah, I had my phone out for a speech, but a lot of things I've been hearing today, I just want to address. See this packet? This is plain leaf kratom. A lot of people say they can't tell the difference. There's a difference. I get emotional. My life was saved by this. I make a cup of tea a couple times a day. I'm able to function. I'm able to walk. I'm able to play with my grandkids, my kids. It's given me a quality of life that I did not have. When I was 8 years old, I was hit by a car. I was prescribed opiates for 15 years. It was very hard for me to go through school. I remember getting taken out of school in 7th, 8th grade. We tried chiropractic, worked pretty good, it helped straighten up my back a little bit. But I always dealt with the pain, and I was always looking for something that would help me. This tea really helped me. It's helping millions of people. There's a very easy way. This is a tea. This is natural leaf kratom. The synthetic stuff that you see in the market is not natural. It's very easy. They're coming out with tests that can tell. When you test for metragenine is what you see from plain leaf kratom. Sulindoxil is what you see from 7-OH. They're two different substances. They can test for this. There's a way to test. There's a way to figure it out. I don't want to see millions of people that I know that have been benefited by this plant lose it. I feel so strongly about this. In 2016, I created a company that specializes in analytical testing and direct marketing, and we bring the kratom in from Indonesia. We speak only about traditional use. We only offer traditional use, and we work with the people that have been using this plant for 50 years. They taught me how to use it. I was so blown away by it. I asked them, I said, what does it do? Why is it working this way? How come I can have my focus I need? Because during that injury at 8 years old, I also had a head injury. I said, it kind of mimics ADHD. And I said, I can focus. My pain level isn't so bad. I can't even do anything anymore. I said, I'm able to have a life. And from what I've seen over the last decade, thousands of people have their life back because of a tea. But also over the last 2 years, I've gotten a lot of phone calls. A lot of people that went to the shops asking and looking for the kratom. And they were said, well, they offer me this product. And this isn't Kratom. I can't stop taking it. I don't know I don't even know what I'm taking. And I looked into it. I started seeing this in 2024. This is a synthetic Kratom they're talking about. They are taking and cannot stop taking. They're having problems with it. That is not natural Kratom. Natural Kratom, I've never seen a story. I can tell you that thousands of people that have come and shopped at our online store or online only, maybe 2 or 3 tried to abuse the plain leaf powder. The problem is, if you drink too much tea, you're going to throw up. You're not going to be able to abuse it. It has a limit. And that's why people are so successful. Even people in addiction and recovery are so successful with this tea.
Thank you, sir.
You got it.
Just one quick question for you. So you say that the tea comes from Indonesia. You buy all your products from Indonesia.
Yes, sir.
2 questions, actually, or a 2-part question. The product that comes from Indonesia, number 1, is it tested in Indonesia for its content and its strength of those compounds? And number 2, is it retested when it gets to this country, or do you retest it for those particular alkaloids or elements?
Sure, we actually do 3 tests. We have initial testing from Indonesia before we even receive the shipment. Each box is
So who does the testing in Indonesia?
our BWK. That is our producer in Indonesia. It's called BWK, Borneo World Kratom. They are actually registered with Indonesia. Their government regulated Kratom a few years ago, just like our company's registered with the FDA. So your company in Indonesia must be registered. Your company in the United States must be registered according to Indonesian regulations to import Kratom into the United States.
Okay, thank you.
So, and it's also tested. We have our co-packer. Our co-packer tests it once it gets here. And then before we release it for sale, we send it out to Core Science. Core Science tests it. It takes a week or 2. And then we wait for those test results to come back. Once we take all 3 tests and compare them, once that meets the 20% threshold, that goes up for sale.
This is probably not fair to you, but to ask this question, but do all Kratom teas go through that?
There is self-regulation. We've been part of the American Kratom Association's GMP program. We went through 7 years now of independent audits where we have an auditor come out. They look at all our paperwork. They make sure of our binders, everything's right. We have GMPs. We spent over $20,000 having these professionally written in 2019. We're very serious about this plant, and we follow regulations according to the FDA.
Thank you. Legislator Lennon?
Thanks. Just one quick question. So hypothetically, if we said the leaf, actual leaf itself would be legal, everything else is not, are you okay with that?
The leaf, and then you also have tinctures. Tinctures.
What is that?
Made, like the tinctures that are made out of the natural leaf. There's a lot of natural tinctures that are made, but you also have stuff on the market that's, you know, synthetic. But there are naturally made tinctures, and they're great. They mimic the actual plant, and they're not overboard. They're made with food grade solvents. They're not made with some industrial solvents and not some, you know, Frankenstein product, to be honest with you.
So
it's a natural product.
It would be like a pill then.
They have them in capsules and also tinctures, like a dropper sometimes. So.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Legislator Lennon. Legislator Richburg.
Thank you, and thank you, sir, for coming today. So you said it's a self-regulated market?
Yes, it is a self-regulated. And we've been getting a lot better since 2018 when the American Kratom Association implemented the GMP program. Like people volunteered, hey, here's the next standard. If you want to meet those standards, this is what you're going to do.
So
and
is there a certification? Is there a label? Is there something that says, you know, this has been certified by?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, every year we get a certificate. I put the certificate on our website. We actually had the little seal on our bags, on our packaging, GMP certified. So.
And so the product that you sell, where does that end up going?
I'm sorry.
This product that you sell, where do you sell it to? Like who?
We're online only.
Online only.
Yeah, we're not in any of the stores or shops or anything, but you know, if it wasn't for it being in the shops, a lot of people go to the shops and they're like, "Ooh, it's too expensive," and they found the companies online that get it a little cheaper. So if it wasn't for the shops, a lot of people would never find us. To be honest with you.
Okay, and so is there a reason why you don't sell it in the shops, or?
Honestly, our product's a little more expensive compared to the protocols that we go through, and a lot of the shops really don't want to pay the extra money for our products. They're a little more expensive.
And just correct me if I'm wrong. So what you're saying is you put your product to a standard that's not met by most of the product that's out at this moment in time.
Well, there's many companies that work with the American Kratom Association and Global Kratom Coalition that are meeting their own standards. It's meeting their own standards within the GMP program.
But what you're saying is your product is at a higher standard than most other products.
My product is at the same standard as at the American Kratom Association for labeling, testing, and all the other standards that are implemented. But there are many companies that are out in the market that no, they don't meet any of those standards. Correct.
Okay, so there's a self-imposed standard, but we don't know which companies are not. We know which companies are.
Go to the American Kratom Association's website and they have a list of 30 or 40 companies that go through the independent audits every year. You can look right there and say, oh, okay, these are the companies right here. That's one easy way to check.
Right. So, but we don't have, so there isn't like a uniform label. There isn't anything that says, this is.
We're waiting on regulations. Like the FDA made an announcement in July last year that they're planning on scheduling 7-OH, the synthetic kratom. We're still waiting on that. From what I understand, it's going to be in the next couple of weeks. So once they make that announcement, I think everybody else has a little better idea.
I guess my uneasiness of this is, so we have products in stores that are not necessarily regulated or self-regulated, and we don't necessarily have one standard. So your product might be tested at a higher level than other products, but what most folks are getting is not necessarily met at that same standard.
I mean, I can only speak for my products and the other companies I know that run through the program, and other companies I personally know. I know that they really care about it. A lot of these companies have been in this industry for a long time. They really care about this plant. There's, of course, other companies that see a buck in something, pop up, make a bunch of money on a bunch of junk and get out of it. And in the meantime, some people get hurt.
Right.
But the people that are in this care about
it. That's where I'm worried about, because we don't necessarily can say that the veracity of what this product is being tested at, right? So if you're saying there's a self-imposed standard that, folks have all agreed on that this is the standard, whether you said 20%, that's a good standard, great. But if you're saying there's some people who are higher or lower or not as qualified, or maybe they're using the synthetic and the regular leaf, I think
there's a big difference between the synthetic and the regular leaf,
right,
or even the tinctures from the natural plant.
Right.
It's very obvious. You can look, like, according to the Kratom Consumer Protection Act, you can see anything above 2% of the total alkaloid fraction of 7-OH is not natural. Anything above that, anything below that fraction is, a natural product.
Right, but the problem is the average person doesn't know that. So if I'm just going into a store and I'm buying something and we don't know what the level is, right? It'll take hard for the average person to do that. Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Minority Leader Richburg. Chair recognizes Legislator Renner.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. If you could come back up for one more quick second. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No problem.
I just had a couple questions.
I drove 3.5 hours. I can hang out for a while.
All right, good. And if you need some tea, make some tea. So, listen, I know everybody can't see me over this, but I'll lean up a little. So I've done a lot of research on this subject, whether whiteboarding it in the office, the pros, the cons, meeting with a lot of different constituents, even a field trip to our local gas station to buy 7-OH. And all I could tell you is that you could see this body here today is focused on the best interests of the Suffolk County resident and trying to understand the best path forward. And I think this dialogue is healthy, and it is good for our citizens to be able to speak up and educate not only us, but the community about what's needed. Other bodies are also dealing with a similar situation. Florida, the AG enacted an emergency ban on 7-OH. And when they enacted that ban, they didn't target natural leaf kratom. They mostly focused on 7-OH. And the one thing that I want to talk to you about, because you mentioned that you do testing, right? You said you do testing 3 times.
Correct.
Happens over there, happens here, it happens before it's packaged. My question for you is, and I think to Legislator Lennon's point before, and it's come up a few times, we talk about concentration, right? Those 7-OH pills I got were highly concentrated, synthetic, and enhanced. So my question is, Florida, what they did, they stated that they're testing naturally occurring versus artificially concentrated 7-OH. And based on the concentration levels, whether they were chemical conversion traces that they were kind of looking at. My question for you is, to sum this up, when you're testing, what are you exactly testing for? And then have you ever tested the pills that are labeled as Kratom but sold and are 7-OH?
No, I have never really dealt with any 7-OH products, tested them or anything, but I have seen testing results that were online, and a lot of them do come up with a lot of other things, artifacts. The University of Florida, there was 8 artifacts they couldn't even identify in some of the 7-OH products. That was my first scare when I looked at it. Like, what do you mean that they can't even identify it? So that was my first thing to say something's not right there. But as far as the testing, what we look at all the balance of the alkaloids, metrogenine, speciosylitine, panathine, all the alkaloids that are within the kratom plant in a balance to see if they're in a natural balance. Obviously, heavy metals. Then we look for salmonella, E. coli, and all of those type of things, just for safety. Obviously, the heavy metals, the microbiology, and then the alkaloid profile.
Cool. Thank you very much. That answered my question.
Thank you, Legislator Reda. The chair recognizes Legislator Formica.
Sorry, you kind of stuck up there for another second or two. As a former law enforcement officer, I can tell you I'm hearing a lot of buzzwords that really mean nothing to me, because what we're doing is just throwing out words. We're worried about black markets and things like that. But in listening to you speak, it sounds like we already have a black market out there, right? You told me that there's about, well, not me specifically, but you told everyone here that there's about 30 people on a specific site. Did I get that number right?
There could be a 30 or 40 on the American Kratom Association website that goes to the GMP program every year.
Okay, and a guesstimate, how many people do you think sell some form of kratom, whether it's the one with the synthetic or the one that's a pure leaf? What would you think your guesstimate is for Suffolk County?
I wouldn't even know.
Would you say it's in the hundreds?
How many different products?
Just use your microphone, please.
How many different? I wouldn't even know. A couple.
I'm willing to bet that it's in the hundreds. Okay, we saw something similar when we had the synthetic marijuana going around. I mean, it was every gas station had it, right? So I would think that we probably have some form of a black market going on right now. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you talked about self-imposed, and I guess my question to you is, when you say self-imposed, for the people that don't follow it, what's the penalties to those people? Who's regulating the people that are not following, like yourself? It sounds like you're doing the right thing. Who's regulating those folks?
Unfortunately, it's self-regulated at the moment. They do have a bill. They have the bills filed, the Kratom Consumer Protection Act, and they actually have a federal Kratom Consumer Protection Act. Once that is passed, that will have penalties. Just like the FDA is going to come down. They already have the DOJ, the DEA. They already have the 7-OH bill in front of them. It's going to be in the next couple of weeks. That is going to be made an announcement that is going to be a Schedule 1 or whatever schedule they're going to put it in. That kind of sums it up right there when they make that announcement. And that makes it a little easier for everybody else. In the meantime, we're still having the discussion.
Right.
So,
and I think it's a healthy discussion. My last part would be, you mentioned not only the pure leaf that you would put in the form of a tea, but you also mentioned, I don't remember what it was called, but there was a second thing that would either be in some form of a liquid drops. Okay. So if we were to separate, the 7-OH, which sounds that's like the bad part, how would we regulate what those pills look like and those drops? How would you be able to know what that looks like if we were separating the two?
well, right now I can tell you about one that I know of. It's a tincture that each dropper, full dropper, is 30 milligrams of metrogenine. That's roughly 3 grams of kratom powder. That's your average amount that people take in the tea. So they already have that. There's your serving size. You have your dropper, you take 1 dropper and either, in your mouth, it's a little bitter. You can put it in some water, some juice. And right there, you have your serving sizes right there already measured out. So that's the type of regulations we're looking for. When you look at a product that is not regulated or it's just not in the balance, there's no way to really look at it. There's no directions, there's no instructions, so looking at a natural product, it's just looking at that balance of alkaloids. If you're looking at that balance of, there's 30 milligrams of metrogenine and 3 grams of kratom powder, well, that tincture also says 30 milligrams for the dropper, so there's your serving size.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Legislator Formica. Deputy Presiding Officer Mazzarella.
Sorry to swing it back again at you. So We've been listening to testimony, not just today, because we had some public, we had a public period this morning before this public hearing, but we also had a committee meeting where this proposed ban was rolled out. And if I remember correctly, someone said in regards to the tea, you'd have to drink 4 gallons of tea to get any type of, a concerning effect. But now I'm listening to you and you talking about this tincture that has a certain concentrated amount of the alkaloids in it. What is to stop someone from having multiple bottles of tincture and making their own tea out of it?
Well, they can't really make the tincture itself would already be, basically a version of like a lot of herbal products you have. A lot of stuff you'll see, St. John's wort, stuff like that. They
My
have tinctures.
question is, if someone was to take a dozen tinctures and ingest it, where does that bring them?
They would probably get very nauseous and throw up. That's about the worst that would happen. When you're talking about natural kratom, whether it's a tincture or the leaf, if you take too much, you're going to get nauseous and you're going to throw up. And then it's going to come up and you're not going to do that again. That's the worst. I'm being honest with you. And you don't want to do that more than once.
We sincerely hope that's the worst. But
It is.
Thank you for
I'll
that.
be honest. Listen, when I first found this in 2015, there wasn't any information online. I was purchasing kilos from Indonesia, not knowing what I was doing. I was trying different amounts in tea. First couple times I tried it, I tried like 2 tablespoons, probably like 15 grams of kratom, not knowing what, I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm trying to drink. I got so nauseous, but that was all that happened. And that's the same thing I've heard thousands of other times. Oh, I took too much. I threw up. I'm not going to do that again. And that's really the story of what I'm hearing.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else? Thank you, sir.
Anyone else?
Okay, next, Dr. Andrew Coladney.
Christopher did an amazing job. Round of applause for Christopher. They're going to go right into Andrew Coladney, but you know what? Why don't we chat about that? Christopher, amazing job. Man, some of those guys were like badgering him. Holy cow.
It was like you knew what they wanted to be.
It was grace under pressure.
Yep.
Yeah, it's truly grace under pressure. And I think some of their questions were legitimate because they really don't know. And that's the sad part, that they don't know. Because
They
here
don't.
they are
I saw
trying.
it in New Hampshire and they're trying to educate themselves, but unfortunately they're still getting the wrong information.
Well, and not just that, they're trying to make a decision that impacts millions of people.
Yep.
And
That they know
don't
nothing about.
know. So maybe before you ban something, take a break, stop and say, okay, who can we find that can give us the education we are obviously lacking? To have a person that comes in here from out of our area stand and speak, and we keep him up here for half an hour, we need to learn more. So let's hold off on the ban until we learn.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
But no, they rushed the ban because they don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there were some good questions in there, but then some of them were like leading, and I know we were having that conversation in the chat. And yeah, Christopher, I imagine that looked very nerve-wracking. Very nerve-wracking. But this is the importance of advocacy and sharing our experience and getting these legislators to understand what this is.
And thank God that Chris made that drive and was willing to stand up there and answer those questions because, yeah. Thank you, Chris.
I'm glad they wanted more information, so they did a recess. So, yeah, we're getting ready to watch Coladney in just a moment. I just want, we just watched like 20 minutes of Christopher doing a great job. So, oh wow.
Here's my public service warning. Everybody find something soft to throw.
Uh-oh. Okay. Yeah, Andrew Coladney's is about 7 minutes long. So yeah, let's watch this and see what he has to say. Should be interesting. They go right into him.
Did I get that right, sir? I'm sorry. All righty. And on deck,
If anyone just got here, this is the man responsible for our prescription opiates being taken away over the last 10 years. And now he's coming after Kratom.
we have Dennis Karachapan on deck. Good afternoon, doctor. You have 3 minutes, sir.
My name is Dr. Andrew Coladney. I'm a physician. My specialty is treating opioid addiction. I practice here in Suffolk County. I've been involved in efforts to address the opioid crisis for more than 25 years as a public health official, as a researcher, as a clinician, and as an advocate. I'm here to support legislation to ban the sale of Kratom because I have seen firsthand how Kratom sold in Suffolk County is harming residents. Kratom is widely marketed as natural, safe for pain, anxiety, even for addiction. But that marketing is deeply misleading. The FDA has warned consumers for more than a decade against using Kratom, against using all Kratom products, citing risks of severe liver disease, seizures, addiction, and death. After studying Kratom, the FDA concluded that compounds in Kratom, including mitragynine and 7-hydroxymitragynine, are opioids. That is why, with daily use, there is tolerance, requiring higher doses for the same effect, and dependence, meaning that people will feel sick when they try and stop taking Kratom if they've been using it daily. Some people believe that Kratom is helping them because when they take their first dose in the morning, they feel relief. They feel less pain, less anxiety. They say they can get up and walk the dog. But what they're really experiencing is the relief of the withdrawal symptoms from.
I need something very soft to throw at the screen. You weren't kidding, Robin. Did he really just say
I told you. I told you.
Did he really just say that about us chronic pain patients?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here baffled because I'm like, even after coming off of 30 years of different pharmaceuticals, I didn't feel withdrawals from any of the pain meds, anything. The only ones I did have the withdrawal from was my Zoloft. That was awful. But I was taking Kratom long before I came off of my Zoloft. My blood pressure medicine was the last two that I came off of. But yeah, withdrawals. I don't even get withdrawals when I stop taking Kratom.
Yeah,
Me neither.
exactly. I get pain
Neither did I
relief.
for opioid when I was taking the pain medication.
Man, I can't believe
Cymbalta,
you
yes,
said that.
but not,
Oh my
these.
God. Have y'all not seen, like, is this y'all's first time to see this testimony?
Yeah.
I know
yeah.
Robin
watched this one yet.
Robin warned us, have something soft to throw.
Yeah, I saw pieces of this. It was sent to me like from a couple of people, and I'm just like, I just kind of like,
but it's
throw
the
my
same
hands up
thing
in
he
the air.
says all the time, even in regards to
Yeah.
traditional opioids. So it's the same thing.
And of course he's going to push the bupe, where
Yeah.
he can make money and his buddies make money.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. Ryan says Andrew Coladney makes money by being a professional liar for prosecutors against opioids, and I believe is paid by Indivor. Get Claudia on here. Yeah, they've done I tell you, Claudia and Bev have done a great job uncovering all the things he's done over the last 10 years. And, but yeah, I mean, this is why most of us can't get our pain meds because of this person. All right, let's keep going. I had to stop when I heard that because Kratom helps my pain. It makes it go away. All right, let's see what he has to say next. Robin is just going to get like worse and worse as he goes on.
No comment.
Okay.
From Kratom, not the relief of an underlying problem. And for the people who believe that it's benefiting them, they may feel that way today, but we don't know tomorrow whether or not they'll experience liver failure, a seizure, heavy metal poisoning, addiction. We are now seeing the public health consequences of an opioid, Kratom, being sold over the counter. For the past decade, calls to poison control centers and hospitalizations involving Kratom across the United States have increased 1,200%. I'm seeing this here in Suffolk in my patients who come into the hospital and experience severe withdrawal from Kratom, no different from the withdrawal people would experience when they stop heroin. My colleagues in other parts of New York State and in other parts of the country are seeing the same thing. Some are arguing that the problem is limited to 7-hydroxy. That is not true. The 7-hydroxy products have only been on the market for the past 2 years. Problems including deaths and addiction from Kratom have been rising rapidly for the past 10 years. Some argue that Kratom is an answer to the opioid crisis. That is also not true. If it were true, states that have total bans on Kratom would be doing worse.
So I'm sorry, your time is up, but if anyone has any questions.
They are.
Seeing none. Thank you, sir. Oh, Legislator Kennedy.
Thank you for coming out today to speak on this. I'm a nurse for 30 years who worked with substance abuse people and teenagers who used many different things. So my question comes from experience and from reading. I'm going to make a statement and you tell me if I'm on the right track, because I am confused by the studies, and it doesn't just depend on who wrote the studies, which is unusual for me. We know close to what an amount of leaf kratom chemical is safe. Is that true or is that not?
That is not true. There was a study done to determine what dose of mitragynine could make somebody ill, but we really don't know what's safe. What we know is that the FDA says that nobody should be using any of the kratom products.
Okay.
And the distinction between mitragynine and the 7-hydroxy products, which we've heard referred to as synthetics, to be precise, they're not synthetic, they're semi-synthetic because you actually make them out of kratom leaf.
Okay.
It's not like the synthetic cannabinoids, which are just made out of chemicals. So it's oxidation of kratom leaf that can result in 7-hydroxy.
Okay. Now, if we are to vote to keep the kratom leaf and not to change the bill and not the 708, is it possible that the small amount that's in the individual leaves could be altered the same way marijuana is? We say now it's not your mother's marijuana. It's much stronger. It's been, worked to increase the levels of the psychoactive drug.
The answer to your question is yes, because 7-hydroxy is not the only potent opioid that you can make from mitragynine. There are other potent opioids that you can make out of kratom leaf, which means that we'll be back here again in a couple of years talking about another opioid that comes out of kratom that's also potent. But just to respond to the previous testimony, if someone were to drink multiple tinctures or extracts of kratom leaf product, of really a large dose of mitragynine, I don't think they would just feel nauseous. There's a very good chance it would poison them. Mitragynine toxicity can be lethal. It can lead to cardiac death and to respiratory depression.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Minority Leader.
Just if you could submit those studies to us through the clerk or through the chair, it'd be greatly appreciated.
Sure, will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
All right.
How can he get by with lying so much?
And he gets paid big bucks to do that.
Exactly.
This is all of our people in office. Everywhere. Every line of aspect of office. They're all paid to get whatever it is they want and forget the American person.
Yeah, that was some crazy testimony he just did.
It's insane. It's like, where are they getting this information?
Like I said, I warned you, have something soft to throw.
Well, and he's like discounting all of us with chronic pain. Like, yeah, when we take it in the morning and we feel better and don't have pain, like he's discounting that.
Yeah.
We're just
But if you were a chronic pain patient and took something in the morning and then went all day and took nothing all day and then weren't able to take something again until next morning, I guarantee you would have some sort of bad feeling between your morning doses, and it wouldn't just be your pain, but throw us back to those pharmaceuticals that were not helping or being taken away from us.
That with him, you cannot get. He flat wants all opioids of any kind banned. And for him to sit there and continually call Kratom an opioid, and that it's been declared an opioid, and the FDA is ruling against it. Like I said, the lies that come out of his mouth should be dollar bills, because that's where they're coming from.
Wow. Well, we don't have time to watch, more of that, but later in YouTube, where we're watching this right now, I'll put the link to that. So for those that want to watch more, how many hours did you say, Venus, that was? Like 5 hours?
Yeah, I can't remember how long. It starts, I think, after the second hour, it starts, and then it goes all the way. I think that one goes all the way to the end of the video.
Was it all Kratom talk the whole time? The whole thing?
The 2-hour mark on. That was, I'm pretty sure I'm remembering it right, but it was very long.
Okay. I'll have the link. We're getting some weird feedback. I'll put the link in YouTube's for those that want to see more of that. But thank you, Venus, for getting all that to me. You do such a great job with the timestamps and stuff. Here's a fun blast from the past. I'm trying to remember who shared this. It was either Venus or Amanda. I'm sorry. I forgot. One of y'all shared this over in Slack, but this was a cool news story from 2016. So let's go back to the past.
We are Kratom advocates have reacted with anger and fear to the federal ban on a natural analgesic product they say is safer than the painkillers legally prescribed by doctors. One of them is the founder of the American Kratom Association, Susan Ash, who was crippled by pain from Lyme disease before she switched to Kratom.
Within a matter of 2 weeks of me deciding to make that transition, I went from a bed and homebound existence to starting this organization.
Kratom comes from the leaves of Southeast Asia's kratom tree and has been used there for thousands of years. In the United States, people buy it online or at small shops that sell a variety of herbal products. As long as it's not adulterated, Kratom poses few health risks, according to the former Houston distributor who calls himself Chris Kratom rather than use his real name.
The ones that are coming in mostly are people that have to deal with chronic pain, that don't want to deal with being lethargic and feeling like the clouded mind after taking their other prescriptions.
He no longer sells Kratom because of the impending ban, but a couple of years ago he visited his suppliers in Indonesia and saw the source firsthand.
We even took boat rides up the river. The only place you can get to some of these old growth forests is by boat. A lot of these trees I saw were over 100 years old.
He says he would favor government regulation of the substance rather than an all-out ban. But Baylor College of Medicine psychiatrist Dr. Thomas Costin says the DEA's job is to protect public safety, not regulate products.
And it would be nice if we had a less blunt instrument than the DEA scheduling as a way to control this.
The DEA says Kratom is an addictive substance that has been involved in hundreds of emergency calls all over the country. But Costin says there are far more cases of poisoning with other substances.
There's many thousands of those that occur in a month even, whereas the misadventures with ingesting Kratom have in fact been quite small.
Many addicts use Kratom to get off heroin and other opiates, raising fears that a ban will add to an already alarming rise in overdose deaths. The DEA ban will last for 2 years and then become permanent unless authorities see enough evidence that Kratom is not dangerous. Greg Flakus, VOA News, Houston.
Okay, that was an interesting.
Why can't we have more like him?
Yeah. But what a nice blast from the past back when, it was just natural leaf kratom 10 years ago. And, crazy number of you advocates and consumers spoke out and made the
And
government.
did what had never been done before or since.
It's so amazing. It's such an amazing story. And when I discovered kratom, it was from the documentary A Leaf of Faith, which is a phenomenal, I think it's like the best documentary that's ever been put out about kratom. And, they feature Susan Ash and the AKA. And I'm like, hearing her story and then hearing how you all saved, when I say you all the advocates and consumers that spoke out, that marched in Washington, that did all the behind the scenes stuff, because of all of y'all's actions, y'all kept it legal for the rest of us who came to discover it later, because I discovered it in 2019. But it's just amazing how people came together back then.
And we need that again so much.
Yeah. Yeah, Extreme's right. Times have changed. I mean, back then there was not extracts in gas stations, right? It was just natural leaf was pretty much it, mostly in specialty shops and smoke shops or apothecaries.
For the most part, yeah. And people making it in their basements and their kitchen tables.
Yeah. But that was a fun news report. I had not seen that one before. So that was cool to watch. Let's see, what else do we have? There's a really interesting video that's from 10 years ago, but it's too long for us. It's 26 minutes long, but I'll play a little bit at the beginning because this is really cool. I had not seen this one before, but it shows, the march in DC and somebody was going around interviewing different advocates, and the audio is not great and we just don't have time anyway, but I'll just play a little bit of the beginning and I'll put the link to it in the YouTube description. So if anybody wants to go back and watch it, but and Becca was there in DC during this time.
Yeah, actually that last news clip that you showed, I saw myself in the corner.
Yeah, Scott was there too.
Yes, he
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. Let me play a little bit of this one.
Can you start by telling us your name?
My name is Norm Bamford.
Okay, hey. Can you tell us why kratom is important to you personally?
See, back in September 11th of 2001, I was in the Air Force, and I was deployed immediately for Operation Enduring Freedom. I was continuously deployed.
The audio is not very good. I'm going to take that off. It's really loud and it's hard to hear some of these people too, but it's really good. So I definitely recommend something to watch.
Gotta love Norm. He is amazing. Hello, Taunton Bay.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
Yes.
so interesting, like all the old school people, it's just,
Absolutely.
before
Yeah,
some of us.
He was very active back in the day, like especially for veterans because he is a disabled veteran as well, and he really sympathized with that. So he was very hardcore, like about veterans' rights and trying to help keep kratom legal, especially for them.
That's so cool. That's so cool. And I know Christopher was there and so many of y'all, it's so cool hearing the stories about y'all going to DC and marching.
We need to do that again.
Yeah. We need more of that.
I agree.
You know,
We should
and we just need,
meet up in DC.
we just need, something to be organized and try to get as many people. Y'all did it back then. And I've been to DC twice to speak on Capitol Hill. It's an incredible feeling going around and talking to people and sharing your story. in a place like DC where it really matters on a federal level. And Venus came and did it last year with us, which was so awesome. And, you know, speaking of that, I got to play this video from Venus. Venus, do you mind if I play one of your new videos that you posted? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So this one is perfect and ties into it because, so let me give a little backstory. So y'all all know Venus and love Venus here because she comes every week. She's been doing this since I started the Kratom Gals, December of 2023, and wasn't comfortable doing video, but this is so important to her that she said, I'm going to show up each week. I'm going to do this. And she got more and more comfortable, as you all know now, like, you know, it's a piece of cake for her. But one of the things she was not doing was just grabbing her phone and making videos to advocate. And a program I used to teach a long time ago, right before Kratom came into my life, I taught a program called Video Like a Rock Star and teaching people how to get more comfortable on camera, how to do more videos, more live streams, more everything. And it's interesting, all these years later, there's still such a need for people that want to get more confident on camera. And this is not just Kratom. I mean, I do a lot of stuff. You know, I've been in digital marketing for 30 years, and I have other communities I've built in the 30 years. I've been doing all this stuff. So I'm just hearing from so many of my various communities that there's still a lot of people not comfortable just grabbing their phone and just making videos, and especially with how TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Reels, and all, you know, everything is so even more popular now. So I wanted to revive one of my programs. And so what I did a few weeks ago is I hosted my 5-day, it was last week, my 5-day video challenge. And it's just showing up each day. I have a school community for this. It's like show up each day for 5 days, Monday through Friday. And I just have a short little video for you to watch and a prompt of a video for you to make. And then you post it in the community so nobody else sees it but our private community. Venus was like, I'm doing this. And watching her go from her day 1 to day 5, you just see this progression of how comfortable she got just by doing it every day. And I was hoping that she would get comfortable to start posting her education and advocacy information on her social media. So she's been doing that since last week. And so Venus, I'm just so proud of you. So I want to show you all a video that Venus just put up a few days ago it's on her TikTok and her YouTube. And the title of it says, I used to say no to everything. Now I can say yes. And that changed my life. I am Kratom. So let me play this. I'm so proud of you, Venus.
Thank you. Hi, it's Venus, and this is Maggie May again. She loves her treats. And today I was thinking about all the things that I'm able to do because of Plain Leaf Tea in the past 9 years. Most importantly, I'm able to say yes. When people call and ask me to participate in things, I'm able to say yes, I can do that. I can go on family vacations, trips. I can't do, a lot of exertion, but I can say yes, and I can be there for my friends and family. I'm able to co-host on the Kratom Gals show. And sometimes we sit there for 3 hours. I love it so much. I wish I could sit there longer. And also on school, I'm able to help out there. And there's just so much. It opened up a whole new world for me. It was like as soon as I drank it and didn't feel the pain anymore, my brain was wondering, what can I do? What can I do now? And there's a lot of things that I have to take a step back from and realize that no, I still have illnesses. I still can't do everything, but there's so much that I can do. So if you have any questions, if you're suffering from untreated or undertreated chronic pain, research Plain Leaf Tea. You don't have anything to lose, and you have a whole new life to gain. You can come check us out on school, SKOOL, Kratom Real Talk, and the Kratom Gals Show, and Kratom Real Talk on YouTube. We have a live stream every Saturday at 2 p.m. So I hope to see you there.
That was so good.
That was amazing.
That was amazing.
That's
awesome, Venus.
Proud of
That
you.
was so good.
A video like a rock star, because I always like to do things with the group. So being able to do that and because there were other people that were doing it with us and get feedback. And then with the pressure of not wanting to let anybody down too, it helped. And I just really appreciate what you do, Madeline, because I keep saying this, you know how to find out what it is that makes us nervous, bring us to that threshold, and then help us get over it with this type of stuff. And I just really appreciate you. You don't give up on me. So thank you.
Oh, never. Yeah, I knew that if you went through that you would start getting more comfortable. I wasn't sure if you were going to post on social media yet, but I was so excited when in my feed, all of a sudden, my YouTube and TikTok, here's your little videos, your shorts. I'm like, she's doing it. So, and it's a way for you to get more of your education and advocacy out there, which I know is important to you. So, and I know you're always looking for ways to get more education out. So now you have this avenue that you weren't comfortable doing, even though you're comfortable coming on here, but being in here with other people on a scheduled, weekly basis is very different than grabbing your phone, pushing the button and looking at yourself and trying to talk. It's a very different thing, and you just kind of got over that barrier.
And I got to keep doing it. I'm not going to try. I am going to keep doing this daily. I might miss a couple here and there, but I just really think it's important. It's more important than any nervousness or anything else that I might feel about not wanting to be on camera or being out there. So I just want to help more people.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I think that was great. You know what? Why don't we wrap up? We're doing good because we're right coming up at the top of the hour. I've been here for 2 hours already. I came across a really fun video. I thought we'd end with something kind of cool and fun. I found an interesting, it's a short video, but it's something we don't see very often online. It's a good educational one, especially for anybody that's watching this that's newer to Kratom. But yeah, I've been holding on to this one. This is interesting.
Quick question. When a Kratom company says their product is lab tested, how do you actually know it applies to the bag that you're holding? Let me show you how to check in about 60 seconds. This is called a Certificate of Analysis, or COA. This is a real lab report from an independent laboratory. Right here is the most important part, the lot number. That number has to match the lot number on your bottle or on your bag. If it doesn't match, the lab report doesn't apply to your product. Down here are the microbial tests. This checks for things like Salmonella, E. coli, and mold. You want to see absent or very low numbers here. That tells you the product was screened for harmful bacteria. Next are heavy metals, arsenic, lead, cadmium, and mercury. These are measured in parts per million, and they're here to make sure the product is safe and within acceptable limits. Real labs don't hide this, they publish it. This section shows the alkaloid profile, things like mitragynine and 7-hydroxymitragynine. This doesn't mean stronger is better, it just shows the natural chemical makeup of that batch. It's about transparency, not hype. And finally, you want a date and a lab supervisor's signature. That means a real lab actually reviewed and released the report. So if you ever want to verify your Kratom, just do 3 things. Match the lot number, check the safety tests, and make sure there's a real lab behind it. If a company makes this easy to see, that's usually a good sign. I hope this helps. And as always, hit the like button and subscribe for more information about Kratom and other awesome botanicals.
That was so cool. I saw that and I'm like, I wish there was more educational stuff like that out there.
Very good educating piece.
I would have loved to have seen a video like that when I was newer, because I did not understand the certificate of analysis. Like, I didn't even hear about it much at first. I think I was maybe several years in it. And I'm like, what's this COA? I keep hearing about it. I had to do some research. I'm like, oh, because I mean, I know some of y'all have been using Kratom way longer than me, but when I started in 2019, some of the first Kratom I bought was in a bag with a Sharpie through somebody everybody was buying from on Facebook, in a Facebook group. And the person was legit. I had a lot of conversations with her and I felt very safe. But you weren't hearing a lot about, the importance of packaging yet. You didn't hear about certificate of analysis. At least I wasn't at first. And I love that nowadays, that's something important, like that these companies, the reputable ones, are doing, and they're doing it properly.
And you can verify your package to that analysis to match them up. And if they
Yeah.
don't match up, then somebody might just be handing you, passing it off. Well, it's a fake, maybe.
Yeah.
So, you'll definitely education in that little video we just watched.
I
Show people
really
how to
well
do that.
done. Yeah, and
Very
explaining
much
what all
so.
the different things are.
Mhm.
I thought that was great.
Yep.
So,
Me too.
yeah, that's pretty much what I have for y'all today. We had lots of news stories to look at, and it was great seeing Christopher get 20 minutes of speaking at Suffolk County.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was awesome.
That was Christopher. You
Awesome.
did so good. I was so impressed.
Yes.
Because that's got to be
Thank you.
tough when you have them, especially the one that was doing a lot of leading and just wanted to hear certain things. And I mean, that's got to be pretty nerve wracking to be up there and having you don't know what's going to come out of them.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd have the temperament to be up there that long, and I don't know if I could. I would probably get really upset.
So anybody have anything before we go? Anything
Great show
to share?
Awesome show.
It's always a great show.
It is.
We always have great conversations here. I love our community. Appreciate everybody that joins us live in the chat. If you're watching the replay, and let's see, we're an hour and 55 minutes in. If you're watching the replay right now, actually for those that are live here too, in the chat, so we know you're here. Well, we know who's chatting in the chat because we see y'all. But if you're watching the replay, let's give out a word. Like, what would be the magic word that if we see this we should do? I always forget to do this. It's such a great little thing. So that way, if somebody's watching, because there's plenty of things I watch replays of where I'll watch it all the way to the end. And sometimes you'll get the host saying, if you're still watching, put this in the comments and I'll know that you're still here. So, trying to think what would be, I don't know. Somebody
Put Meg Dot.
Meng Da. There you go. Well, Robin said something for it. Let's go with Meng Da. That was a good one. Put Meng Da in the, so let me type that in real quick. MENGDA. If you put Meng Da into the comments on YouTube, we will know that you're watching us right now, whether you're live or on the replay. So I just need to remember, y'all remind me if I forget. It's like a fun little thing to do. Because if you're going through the comments, on YouTube later, it's like you see that, you're like, oh my gosh, they've watched an hour and 56 minutes of us hanging out on here. So, and I know Angela always watches all of us. Glad you made it, Angela. So yeah, when we're done, just go to the beginning. We had a great show today. And 100% Kratom lives matter. That's why we got to keep speaking out. It's so important. So, yep. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. I think we're going to close out with Living the Kratom Life. Such a good song.
And everybody everyone do me a favor and please take a few minutes for yourselves.
Yeah.
Because I think this fight's going to get a lot harder and a lot uglier, and we all have to be recharged and ready.
Great advice.
Agreed.
I mean, this has been going on for quite a while. It's getting tiring.
Yeah. Be kind to one another, love one another, and check in with all your friends.
Yes.
Yes.
And make that a part of your daily or weekly routine.
Absolutely.
Because we are all worth it.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all we'll see you next Saturday right here.
Bye, everyone. Be well.
Woke up today feeling light. Grab my blend, ready for flight. Green mango, it's my start. Red barley to calm my heart. From dawn to dusk, I'm feeling free. With every leaf from the kratom tree, I take my dose, I feel alive. Yeah, I'm living the kratom life. Oh, I'm living the kratom life. So wild, every day I'm feeling rich. when I need the drive. It's the power that makes me thrive. Mix it up, I found my way. Living the Kratom life every day. From dawn to dusk, I'm feeling free. With every leaf from the Kratom tree, I take my dose, I feel alive. Yeah, I'm living the Kratom life. Oh, I'm living the Kratom life so wild. Every day, I'm feeling revived. Capsules packed with nature's glow. Herbal realm, you already know. You already know. When the day is long, I feel the strain. I know that Kratom eases the pain. So I take my blend and I rise. With herbal realm, I touch the skies. Oh, I'm living the Kratom life so wild. Every day, I'm feeling revived. Capsules packed with nature's glow. Herbal realm, you already know. Yeah, I'm living the Kratom life. Ooh, 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 ooh. When the day is long, I feel the strain. I know that Kratom